Hi, Dee.
You know, we're just so doggone glad you all are here today. Glad it's not raining, but it doesn't really matter, we're inside. You know, it was a little over 2 years ago that I stood at this very exact spot and talked to a lot of you about the Convention and Visitors Bureau taking over the operation of Fort Lawrence. And a lot of you encouraged us to do that, and we were kind of scared, actually. We really were. We didn't know how it would work. We didn't know if we could succeed. I've never run a museum before. We never had staff to do this. And 2.5 years later, here we are. I mean, we're running it at a smidge of a profit. Where's the OHS people? Don't tell them I have a smidge of a profit going. Just a smidge, enough to pay the electric bill. It's been a great partnership. We're working really well together. Before I move to the display, which I know you all came to see, you didn't come to hear me talk, but I want to say some thank yous. As you know, when we took over 2.5 years ago, our biggest fear was that we wouldn't be able to maintain the property. There's 25 acres here. If you ever mowed, it's a lot of work. The township trustees, and I don't see any of them here today, but the township trustees here in Lawrence Township said, you know, we would love to help you with that. And they have been mowing for us for the last 2 years, and they've really saved us a lot of money. The Historical Society is here, Karen. Again, we have a partnership with them. They still own the property, and they give us a maintenance and management fee to run the place, and we're hoping that we can continue that for the next couple of years. Village of Oliver Dick's here, as you know, and the mayor. The Ohio Erie Canal Corridor towpath comes right up alongside of us, and it's a great partnership. Tuscarawas Valley Heritage, George Raymond is here. He's on the Tuscarawas Valley Heritage Board. That is the Convention and Visitors Bureau's 501c3 side, and we run some of the money to run Fort Lawrence through the TBH side. My Convention and Visitors Bureau, Tiffany Kale is here as president. Who else is here? Scott Robinson, Don Hoffman, Commissioner Selden Wright, Bob Parks. I mean, we got a big group over here. And Denise McConnell. These are clearly the folks that allow me to do what we do up here. Again, this was a new venture for us, and it was kind of scary at first, and I think they're feeling better about it. So I want to thank the county commissioners. I have all three of them here today, Commissioner Obule, Commissioner Seldenwright, Commissioner Metzger. They really are truly a gift for us to have commissioners that absolutely understand tourism, number one, is economic development, but the importance of history and the history of this county. As we move the future forward, we cannot forget about our history. Of course, my staff at the CBB, Tiffany's here, and then our staff here, Tammy. Sorry, I'm just recovering from vertigo, okay? So things are a little bit tipsy for me, so if I forget things, it's the medication. I've got Tammy and Catherine, and then some of you know that Caitlin was here for a while. We also had Laura here for a while, and then of course Audrey. Audrey is over doing her graduate work in Cooperstown, so we've had people that are passionate about history working on site here. Last but not least, I have to thank the Friends of Fort Lawrence. A lot of them are here. You can see them in costume. A lot of them raise your hands. Clearly, without their gift of money and their gift of time, which is even more valuable, we wouldn't be where we are today. They were here. There was about 50 of them cleaning up the property. So it's been an absolute gift. Our state representative, Al Vandis, is here as well. I really appreciate you coming. And who else is here? From Mr. Portman's office, correct? Okay, great. So we've got federal, state, we've got everybody here today. It's great. Okay, you don't want to hear any more about that. What you really want to hear about is this magnificent display that George Lawrence and I have been working on. I'm the brains, he's the brawn. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
You know, a lot of people say that the best ideas come from strategic planning and think tanks, and that's really not true. The best ideas come from just walking around and talking. And Karen Hassel and I, which she's the OHS person, she and I were actually talking, I don't know, middle of last year, and we were walking around looking at the site, and we're like, what can we do to this site? It's kind of small, we can't go up, we can't go out, what can we do? And I think Karen said, we should just dig a hole in the floor. And I said, can we do that? And she says, I don't know, let's ask. And so we talked about digging a hole in the floor. And then I went to George, who of course, everybody knows George Lawrence, Museum Acrylics. He designs museum displays all over the country, all over the world actually. And I said, George, this is what we're thinking. And he says, I already got it in my head, I already got it. And so he drew a little model, and it was like a little three-dimensional lighted model that we trucked down to OHS in October. In October we made the pitch. They loved the idea. They gave us pretty much permission right away. And then we got the money out of the Hall Memorial Foundation. Is there anybody here from them? Okay, they are a foundation in New Philadelphia. They are specifically geared to handicapped kids, and that is why this is so cool, because you could literally take your wheelchair and go across it. Kids will be able to lay on the floor and look at this display and pinpoint archaeological things. So it's pretty cool. So that was, you know, start to finish, a pretty cool idea. And Wood Electric is here. Yeah, that was the funny part. The drawings and the plans said there was absolutely nothing under this floor. Guess what we found when we got digging? Yeah, electrical conduits. So we had to cut the floor, cut the conduits, cut the electrical wiring. So it was fun, wasn't it? So John's here. We thank you for your work, by the way. Okay, well, again, you didn't come to see me. You didn't come to hear from me. So we're going to do the ribbon cutting. Yeah.
You go ahead.
Is that big thing gonna cut?
Yeah.
All right, are we ready?
Don't run with it.
What are you doing over there?
Yeah, you can help me.
All right. Make sure.
On my mark, get set, and go.
There you go.
George, you want to tell them what they're looking at? Because most people don't know what an archaeological dig looks like, and quite frankly, I didn't know either. So you tell them.
I've learned a lot from this experience. Well, you're looking at different layers. At the lowest layer, you're looking at a Paleo-Indian layer, probably about 4,000 or 5,000 years old. Something you have to tell you too is normally the depths would be greater, but in this case, because we have some limits, we're about a foot down. Then this layer is the Fort Lawrence layer, and you have what was a trash pit, and you have everything from a belt buckle to French flints. You have an axe head. You have a musket lock. You have a clay pipe, a broken tavern mug, all sorts of fun stuff. At the lower level, you have the roasting pit, which would have been used for cooking, and you have bones, mainly raccoon bones, and raccoon jaw, and also flint debitage, which is what's left over when they're actually doing the flint napping. And but sort of the fun things too, you have a 20th century level, just to give a feeling of relevance. You have a 7-Up bottle, and there's an M&M in the grass, believe it or not. One of the guys at work threw this in the other day and said, "That looks good." I said, "Yeah." There's a pop top. There's also a Civil War era medicine bottle that's sort of halfway down, just to show you, give the kids or anybody a feeling of time and depth. And then, of course, there's the grass level. And I tell you, that dead grass is from my yard, so, you know, the rest is artificial. We have various tools of the trade. We have a Marshalltown trowel, by the way, donated by George Raymond, thank you. And several brushes. Doug Angeloni lent us that brush. And we have other archaeological pieces. The survey stake and the various designations show the position of the dig within the digging property. And, you know, there's a lot of fun little details in there. So certainly, you know, you can get on your hands and knees and look. So any questions that we haven't answered?
The sign in there, is that, they do archaeological digs and they put a sign that Lawrence, FEA 31?
Right, what that means is, of course, Lawrence, obviously, that means feature 31. And based on the Gramley book, and Gramley was the archaeologist, of course, that did the digs back in the 70s and 80s, what he did, and it's pretty much a standard thing, was they would designate these different 1 meter square dig sections, and each time they found something, it was a feature, whether it be feature 8, feature 200, whatever. I'm sort of compiling different looks here because you had the trash pit. One of the trash pits at the Fort Lawrence level was feature 31, but we're sort of combining with other things. And the coordinates are south 120, east 135. That isn't anything like longitude and latitude, but what that is just a relative distance of the dig from each other. So you're going, you know, so you can actually find it like a grid for future excavations. But, and there's a survey stake with a level. We sort of picked this just so, as in, you know, the archaeologist decided to have lunch. He dropped his tools, coiled up the survey stake, the line level, dropped his brush, and grabbed the hamburger. So that's pretty much it, sort of a point in time. He's right now working on the musket lock and clearing that. So that's where we're at. Thank you.